If you create custom applications for mobile users and you want to host these applications at Amazon, the odds are you'll be interested in Amazon Cognito. This is a managed service with two main components, user pools and identity pools. The user pools and identity pools also integrate with social network sign-ins. So with a user pool, it's a user directory for a specific mobile application. Of course, you have to create that application and use the Cognito code for the user pool to integrate everything together. So you're creating an identity provider for your mobile application. And Cognito will provide the sign-in and sign-up functionality for any linked mobile application. It also supports the user registration. It also, once you've authenticated, will provide the identity tokens for the signed-in users to carry out their business with the application or potentially even access other Amazon services. As noted, Cognito works with external providers, such as Facebook and Google. These services can integrate with user pools. Therefore, a social user, that is, a user such as one of your users with a phone and Facebook or Google logons, can also sign in and sign up to your mobile application with these credentials. So if I authenticate with the user pool, number one, I can sign in with the third-party identity provider of choice. Number two, I could authenticate and get tokens for the application. Now, the third-party identity providers could be Google and Facebook as noted, but it might also be OpenID Connect. It also might be SAML, Security Association Markup Language, which is the technology inside a lot of directory services, specifically Active Directory domain services. Identity pools are a little different. These are going to assign users that have authenticated to an IAM role in your AWS environment to access AWS resources. So a different interface to assign the IAM role for access to Amazon resources. Since I'm externally authenticating, the identity pool will allow me to delegate authorization for the resources using the secure token service, the same service that we used when we were dealing just directly with identity and access management. Now, identity pools can also be implemented using a linked Cognito user pool, or the identity pool can also be linked with an external third party, such as Google or Facebook. So if I'm accessing with a linked user and identity pool, number one, the first thing I'm going to do is authenticate and get tokens. The second thing I'm going to do is exchange those tokens for access from the identity pool. And number three, I can access the AWS resource. The identity pool credentials can either be a linked Cognito user pool, an OpenID provider, a SAML provider, or a variety of social sign-in identities such as Google, Facebook, or even Amazon Connect. With regards to user pools, the social media providers such as Facebook and Google can be directly integrated with the user pools directly. The attributes of the user's Facebook account, i.e. their profile, their name, and their email, will be mapped to the user attributes defined in their user pool by the developer that created the application. In this case, the user will sign in or sign up to an application using their Facebook logon, for example, but they won't be assigned an IAM role in this example, just have access to the application. So when we look at deployment considerations, where do you need to manage security? Do you have to manage security at the IAM level? Do you have resources, for example, stored in an S3 bucket, confidential information that different departments need access to? Then maybe I should use different identity pools, and maybe identity and access management makes sense. If I'm storing data within a database, well, that will be protected by the database engine, not IAM. Now, access to the EC2 instance where the database is hosted is a different consideration. Is your application a public-facing website that promotes registration? Does it provide users with the ability to register with existing social media accounts? Well, then Cognito makes sense because we want to integrate our application, in this case, with a third-party identity provider, and Cognito can be the glue that integrates your application and the provider together.